Oh, right. We're doing the Power Rangers movie review. Well, if I'm doing a Power Rangers movie review, I'm doing it right. It's morphin' time! Dragons!
You're not using that. That wasn't in the movie. Use the right morpher.
This is a Power Rangers morpher. It's the original morpher.
It's not from the movie.
They didn't even use it in the movie.
I don't care. Use the right morpher.
Fine. Want me to use the right morpher?
Yep.
Fine. What the hell is this? A fucking Pictionary thing? I don't even know how to use it. Shush. Fine. It's morphin' time.
We gotta get our money somehow.
Just start the fucking review. Hello, more phenomenal friends. And you know what? That actually fits into the context of this video because this is the review for the Power Rangers movie. The new one that came out in 2017, not the one from 1990 something or other. Something. It's 19... I'm going to get hammered by this in the comments too because I don't remember the year and everything. But that movie wasn't that great. I'm just going to get this right out of the way before we even get into the nitty gritty of the review. Okay? First...
What are you doing?
Spoilers. Spoilers galore. There's no separate videos, nothing. We will have absolute spoilers because we're going to talk in depth about the movie and everything because that is a true review. If you don't want to be spoiled by the movie, go ahead and click away right now and wait till you see the movie.
True.
So, before the review even starts and spoilers ahead, this movie was really good, okay? Flat down. This is not a review where I'm going to be cursing Lionsgate or Saban or anything. I've got a few nitpicky things here and so does she, but this movie was really good, okay? It was really good and I really hope that you people watch this and support this so that we can get a sequel, okay?
They need to keep going. That is Babs's.
So on to the review. Story. First thing of any movie is the importance of story. The story is the key thing. The thing that every movie strives on. The story for this? Story was really good. I can't believe people are actually complaining about it because it starts off all dark and realistic and then goes into the classic Power Ranger stuff. And I don't really see that with this movie, to be honest. I actually really like the story. Instead of just 5 regular teenagers who are plucked up by Alpha and Zordon, who are already best friends, anti-bully, love to help people out, and teachers got straight A's, recycle, clean up the park, and all this. They are good kids, but they're good kids that made just one mistake. One mistake that ruined their entire life.
Yep.
They're misfits. And that helps towards the story of building up the story, okay? I said that wrong, but you know what I mean. It helps build the story's arc, okay? The characters and what they go through helps work with the story. The story is very simple, but has some twists and turns. You got Zordon, who was the original Red Ranger, who actually gives his life to hide the power coins for new heroes of a new generation. And then you got, which is the coolest thing ever, with Rita, nice switcheroo, she is the Green Ranger. In this adaptation, she was the Green Ranger who decided to go off the rails and wanted more power and killed her entire team.
Yep.
Zordon ends up dying and the power coins are safe. Which is another thing too, instead of just being gifted the powers, they were meant to find the coins. The kids who find them, Zach, Trini, Kimberly, Billy, and, this one? Zach, Jason, okay. They were meant to find the coins. And yeah, it's kind of cliche that they found the coins because they were meant to, but it works here. Instead of just some floating-headed robot who gave it to them, and I'm not bashing on the original, But this, you know, they were meant to find him and everything, but there's an alternate agenda as well. Okay, halfway through the movie, you find out Zordon only wants them to learn to morph and open up the morphing grid so he can step out and he can stop Rita. So instead of them thinking that they're going to fight and save the world, all they're really doing is trying to help some guy come back to life.
Yep.
Which changes Zordon's character in the aspect also of, in the original show, he was just lost in a certain dimension. In this one, he is dead, and his soul inhabits the morphing area, the base, and the only way to get out is for them to open up the grid so he can step out. The story does a really good job of making these misfits, you know, become friends, but not in the easiest of ways. Jason and Billy hit it off really well, and Kimberly and Jason hit it off pretty well, but Trini and Zach are the two out ones on this. Trini is the new girl who shows up, and she doesn't try to be friends with anybody because she always ends up moving again, and she's got a little bit of a sexual difference between, you know, the other kids and everything, which makes her get picked on. Then you got Zach, who doesn't go to school, dropped out because he's trying to take care of his ailing mother, who, you know, he takes care of her, he goes out on his own and everything, but he's always there, he's taking care of her, giving her pills, spending time with her and everything, which adds more of a character dynamic for him as well. Once they learn to actually, you know, work together is when the coolest thing ever happens that I did not expect in a Power Rangers movie. And yeah, I will admit, I thought that he would come back, but they kill Billy. Rita gets what she wants, and she kills Billy. He drowns to death.
Yep.
And the coolest thing ever, as friends, they all band together and take him back to Zordon, hoping there's something Zordon can do, but there's not. And then it's a little cliche too, but they decide it's time to fight. We gotta try one more time and everything. We've gotta do this for Billy. Which then leads to the arc of Zordon redeeming himself when he opens up the morphing grid. Only one can pass through, and he allows Billy to come back to life. So Jason can run his new team and save Angel Grove, which leads to the final fight, which, yeah, could have done with a little more action, but the fighting itself was good. The story itself is a very simple story, but it's got enough of its own ideas in it to make it its own thing and give us, and you guys, what you complained about what the show was doing and what the really graphic fan film did, it's a nice balance in between of more realistic stuff, but still has that Ranger feel to it.
Yep. Okay, my problem is the fact that there was too much character development and not enough Ranger development, in my opinion. You have these group of kids, fine and dandy. We've got all this backstory going on, but we become Power Rangers, and now we know everything. We're the great and powerful Power Rangers, and we go kick ass. To me, there should have been more development once they opened the grid and they became Power Rangers. They should have showed how they worked that, not just rushed out, kicked Rita's ass. Now I'm going to say one thing, Rita was top notch.
Yeah, I agree. Rita was top. She was top notch and everything, and I'll agree where that was a bit of a misstep on them, because at least in the show they explain why they know how to work the Zords and everything so fast. And this one, they just know it. The suit's supposed to give them the knowledge to be able to do all this stuff. Excuse me again. So I agree with you. They should have explained that in the story.
Yep.
Because it was, let's go, we fight a couple buddy patrol, then we get in the Zords and we start kicking ass and everything. Mm-hmm. So to be honest, yeah. And there are corny moments for the story itself, except for it's a lot more of a serious take on it. You got the campiness parts of the jokes and everything that's thrown in that. and where the origin for them becoming Rangers is a bit long. For a first movie, reintroducing these characters in this new universe, it's long, but it works. If they can do a sequel, they've established the characters, and they can just fly off onto it. The story is not like the fan film, and it's not like the show. Like I said, it's right in the middle of what people were asking for, and people are still complaining that they didn't get what they wanted. But
I thought it was a good balance. The fan film was way too dark.
Yes, it was. Way too dark. Way too dark.
To introduce the new children to this new generation of kids to the Power Rangers.
But again, too, it was done by a fan who has his own views, his own way of directing and everything, and what he envisions, which is fine.
I wouldn't take my children as if they were little to see that.
True, and I wouldn't either.
But I would take them to see the Power Ranger movie.
Yeah.
It was a good balance.
Yeah, good. The story was good. It had good writing. The jokes were put in at the right moment, and it has its serious moments. So the story is good. But that leads us to the next point. Okay, characters. First thing first for characters, period, in that story. Rita's the best character. I'm sorry to say. Yes, okay, you got the Rangers, you got Alpha, which I thought I would hate, but I really did like, and Bryan Cranston just seems to do anything and just fucking nail it. He was perfect as Zordon. This Rita is what people wanted. It wasn't the I get a headache and I shoot a new monster out every week, which again isn't a bad thing. This Rita is more dark, more sinister, more serious, and more of a threat to the Rangers than the original Rita is. Even her redesign makes sense now. When I first saw it, I was like, she's green. Why is she green? I get no poofy dress, but why green? But since she was previously the Green Ranger, that makes perfect sense.
Yep.
But she has a nice balance of being funny, terrifying, and downright badass when she whips all the Rangers, and even got the guts to do what never done in the show, going to one of the Rangers' houses and attacking them.
Yep.
She attacks Trini in her bedroom.
Yep.
Simple, that's what she does. She attacks Trini in her bedroom, tries to get her to turn on the other Rangers and everything and that. She could have killed her right then and there. And that's the other thing, too. In the show, Rita doesn't want to kill the Rangers because she wants to take over Angel Grove and then the world. Why not just go with the world? The Rangers can't be everywhere at once. In this one, she does want to do that, too, but she has no problem physically killing him. Like I mentioned previously, she killed Billy while the others watched and then purposely let them go so that they could not save him. You know, even though he was already dead, they tried to save him and everything, which hurts more. She's more sadistic. Elizabeth Banks just did an amazing job as Rita.
Did.
And I really hope that the movies would keep going, because I would like to see more of her Reader. Yes, a reader. Yes. So, for both of us, Rita was just really good. No stupid horns, no big freaking look at my staff, no puffy white dress and everything, just a really well-designed character.
I got a kick out of her going into the Krispy Kreme.
Yes, the
and eating a donut.
That she's never had a donut before. That was one of those little funny moments for her character. I agree.
Or going into the jewelry store and asking for gold, and then looking at the woman and saying, "Give me your jewelry, gold," and taking it from her. This Rita is totally different. Off the cuff.
Yeah, she's a great villain. And speaking of gold, that leads us to Goldar. Now, Goldar in the originals was apparently the world's most badass warrior who decides to show up, grow big, attack the Rangers, and then when the Rangers get the upper hand, split. He has a few, in the original series, he has a few moments where he is a badass, like kicking the shit out of Jason. But in this one, he's turned into more of a threat. Now, I don't understand why he's got no face and it's an open hole, but I kind of understand that trying to make a monkey with wings would look a little weird for this new version of the Power Rangers.
Mm-hmm.
But I like the fact that Goldar wasn't in the entire movie, but he was actually used to make it an actual threat. Throughout the entire movie, Zordon is telling the Rangers about Rita raising Goldar and getting the freaking Zeo crystal and destroying the entire world and everything. And it makes him sound like more of a threat of a character, even though he just literally looks like melted gold.
Yeah, pretty much.
You know, so the design is a little sketchy with me, but I liked that the character was more of a threat instead of I show up, I hit you, oh my god, you pulled out your sword, I'm gone. You know, his character was turned into a joke, and this one, he seems like a big threat. I don't know if he would ever appear again, and I don't know if Rita could ever appear again from getting backhanded into space, but all in all, I did like Goldar. He wasn't a bad character, no speaking lines, so there was nothing really to mess up there.
He did become a threat when Rita went inside of him.
Well,
And he
the power
became
boost.
a big robot.
Yeah, he became more powerful, you know, but then again, the Rangers formed Megazord and everything, so it was more of an even fight.
They could probably bring him back if Rita comes back. But being bitch slapped into the,
But we know she can't die
space,
either because,
so-
well, she lost the power coin though, so she might not be. And that might be the only time we see Goldar, which I would also be fine with that too. There are plenty of things you can do character-wise with more movies.
And that was one thing I did want to bring up character-wise. Why is Jason treated like he is gay? No offense, but he bitch slaps a guy, and then he bitch slaps Rita. Rita, I understand.
Because it was playing off of the previous joke.
But, okay, somebody's messing with Billy, instead of punching his lights out, he bitch slaps him.
Well, he was already in detention, and maybe punching somebody would be a lot worse. I think the slap worked on it being more of a, oh my god, you slapped me?
That was
I don't
pretty
want
much
to punch
what
you
he
in the
said.
face and start a fight. You know, so, I mean, yeah, a little bit,
A
but
big football player, to me, isn't going to, oh my god, slap. They're going to wham, in my opinion.
True. True. You know, speaking of the other Rangers, well, you know, for characters and everything, each Ranger character is changed a little. Billy still is the super smart, awkward guy, and they actually changed it for modern day, giving him more of a disease that actually it makes him not be able to understand humor or facial expressions and everything, but it kind of works. He still acts like Billy did. Yeah, Billy immediately took to it and went, wow, cool, this and that, but since this is a more real version, you know, he kind of is like, cool, this and that, but he has those moments where he's like, okay, we're in this weird ass ship and everything, and I'm super strong for some reason and everything, and this is just freaking me out. Then you got Kimberly, who is a popular kid who screws up badly, and the one thing I didn't like about Kimberly, and you know, besides the fact that it looked like she had black hair, was she cut her hair. And I get the whole point of her cutting her hair because of what she did and a new look and everything, but seriously, the actress had the hair for like 2 scenes, and then it's cut off. And you know, I don't mind short hair and everything, but since Trini also had kind of short hair, like everybody had short hair, she didn't need to have short hair. You know, it was like within Harry Potter, when the 4th movie came out, every single character grew their hair out. For no apparent reason, all the guys had long hair, and then it was all cut again at the next movie.
Yep.
It was like a dare or something, you know? And then you got, you know, Zach, which is a big difference, with him taking care of his mom and everything, and he hangs out at the junkyard and all that and everything, and he's kind of by himself, but he has no problem being crazy and doing crazy things and just having fun. Which does fit a little bit of the original Zack's personality with his bubbly hip-hop, kind of mentality. And no, he's not black. That's about the only difference. Only person that, even though they gave them some, development, and, I know she's supposed to be playing that. The girl who played Trini, Becky G, she didn't do bad, but I wish they would do more movies so she could, show a little more range. She got the brooding and she's got the depressed down, but when she's supposed to be happy or serious, she just seems like she's still brooding. The character, I get, the character's arc and everything, her parents are always on her, and the main thing, that is on is she's gay, and that always follows her, and her parents don't understand that, and she's troubled like that. But when it comes to the ending fight, or when they're trying to morph and everything, she maybe laughs once or twice during a montage, and that's it. She literally is just stoned the entire time, and that really, the serious tone and all that, but sometimes you gotta be able to let go, and she doesn't. Hopefully in this next movie, if they do one, she gets a little more screen time and a little more of a personality to come out of her. I don't hate her performance. I think she did good. But compared to the original Trini, who had her serious moments, she had more of that bubbly personality. And yeah, they made character changes and everything, but those changes don't mean that you can't smile once in a while. You're not Keanu Reeves, okay? You don't have to have a stone face to make it through a movie.
Hey!
What?
Quit bitching about Keanu Reeves.
I like Keanu Reeves, but in The Matrix, he literally is spaked the entire movie. Whoa, I know Kung Fu. Whoa. That's basically all he does in the entire movie. He played his character Ted from Bill and Ted series, but there was more stoner in it, okay?
Okay, I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
And speaking of characters, with side characters, you don't see all of them, but you do get some parents in this. Unlike the parents just randomly appearing maybe once in the show, the parents actually show up, and Jason's dad actually gets a minor story arc with the way he doesn't understand what his son's going through. He's just disappointed in his son. He's trying to be there for his son and everything.
Oh,
but they keep goofing, screwing up.
His son, or I think his dad knows who he is now.
Well, yeah, after he gets saved by Jason as the Red Ranger, pretty sure by the way his look is, he knows who Jason is, but he also knows to keep it quiet.
Yep.
And that leads also to, I forgot to mention, with Jason, he messed up big on the fact that he has a freaking police tracker on his ankle that Billy actually helps deactivate, but he was so bad that he had to be drove to school and everything. And then the only two really major characters that they really focus with is Alpha and Zordon. Now I've already mentioned this. Yes, Alpha looks way different, and he even did I not as Alpha, but I get it. Okay, the new Alpha wasn't bad. The new Alpha was more of what the original Alpha should have been, not a pushover or someone who just was, oh dear, and this and that. He gets up in the Rangers' faces, he helps them, he makes jokes, he's a good character. He helps actually motivate them, and he does a good job at it. The guy who, voices him is the one who voiced BB-8. And he did a good job. Alpha, I would have actually liked to see more of Alpha because he is a side minor character that you really don't get to see much of. And that, honestly, I would have liked to see more. But I get the point because he's there with Zordon and everything, and it's more focusing on the Rangers.
Yeah.
But I would have liked to see more of Alpha. Zordon, I would have liked to see more of him too, just on the fact that Bryan Cranston did an amazing job.
Yes,
and he actually portrayed a Zordon that isn't just some head who knows all this knowledge but trusts teenagers. He has that hidden agenda of trying to get out. And when you find this out, when Jason hears this and you watch this and you see this happening, it's just like, wow, so you telling him you believe in them and everything, was just so that you could help yourself.
Yep.
That's selfish, Zordon. He's selfish. And yeah, he redeems himself by bringing Billy back. But it gives him more of a character instead of just, I am the exposition. I am the ending. I tell you what to do, and then I make a comment at the end and everything, and hey, good job. Or, what do we do? Do this. Oh, okay, thanks. Ex Machina. Sweet. He has character development in this. Instead of just, laughing, joking, or making comments, or telling the Rangers, this is how you break this spell, he has a reason for what he's doing. And it's good. It makes Zordon more interesting, in my opinion. It does. I really enjoyed this version of Zordon more than the original. And I might get flack for that. I love the original Rangers, but I like this Zordon because of the way his character was developed.
Yep.
And it'd be cool to see how his character develops more. Action. Very short section because, to be honest, where them trying to outrun the train and getting fucking smacked and maybe looking like they died because the van got totaled was cool. And the final fight with the Megazord and the Zords is cool.
Yep.
And the montage and then training against putties was cool. I will agree with a lot of people. It doesn't drop the score for me, but there should have been more action.
Yes.
It is an action movie. And, like she mentioned, that they immediately become Rangers, get out, do barely some fighting, and then immediately jump into their Zords. And it leads right into that. I would have liked to see more action.
Yes.
I do like the progression of them becoming Rangers, but you guys could have tacked on a few more minutes to actually show the Rangers fighting.
Yep.
And see them not fully fighting because they just turned into Rangers and they still need that practice. So, definitely, I would have liked a lot more action than what we got. But that's the good thing about a sequel. Since they've established everything, the sequel can start up with the action. Right off the bat. Oh! And this doesn't fit in the action category, but it kind of does because the action is interrupted by Zack going and getting his Megazord, his Zord, and coming out to fight again. And where the action scene with that is fine. One thing I don't understand is why the fucking Mastodon Zord looks like a fucking beetle.
Yep. Yep.
It does not look like a Mastodon.
Look great.
They do.
Great.
They look beautiful.
But it looks like a freaking beetle.
It looks horrible.
It does.
Pros. First, starting off with the pros. You go first this time. Give the biggest pro.
The biggest pro. Rita.
Well, we already gawked about Rita. We can't gawk anymore. Is there any other pro?
Oh, shoot.
We can't gawk anymore on Rita.
Mm.
Hashtag Rita rules.
Okay, I like the fact that the kids aren't altogether friends and they have to develop into a working relationship and develop into friends. It took Billy being killed for them all to realize that they were friends and that they would give their lives if Billy would come back. I really liked that part of the movie.
I actually agree. My biggest my biggest pro, besides them getting a lot right, I would have to say, is I agree with you on the development of the characters and where they try to be friends and everything. They finally realize they're actual friends when they lose somebody and everything. That's a little bit of a tough one. There was a lot they did right. There's a lot of stuff they kind of misfired on. I think my biggest pro of the movie is how much more real they made it.
Okay.
If you take a look at it and everything,
yeah.
It opens up with Jason doing something wrong and getting into a car crash. They all get into a car crash at one point. Billy gets killed. Actual other people are killed by Rita. Zordon is actually a conniving liar and everything. There's a more realistic feel to it. Yeah, you've got the moments where they morph and they're heroes, but there's a more well-grounded, well-grounded story, characters, everything. It's the Power Rangers that makes us remember fondly the original, but also for a new generation and older fans gives us what we've been clamoring about for years. Not exactly me. I mean, I probably would have lowered my score a little bit if it was more of the campy show, but Lionsgate and Saban did a good job at bringing in more of that realism, but still having those good, heartfelt moments. I mean, when they all decide that, you know, yeah, Billy's already died once, but if we're going to be pushed into this fucking crater, nobody dies alone.
Yes.
They all hook together, and they're
friends.
all going to go into there.
Yep.
That is really cool, and that's a lot better than in the show when they're all like, wait, we're friends and we work together and all this. And again, I'm not hating on the show. It's just this was the more adult version that we asked for, and that is what we got. Other pro, the suits, some people complained about them. I liked the suits. To be honest, the suits were really cool. They actually looked like armor, something that would protect somebody's body, not helmet and spandex. That, yeah, the spandex could deflect stuff and everything. This actually looks like alien armor.
Speaking of the suits, the visors, they open, you can see.
Oh,
They
yeah.
can see.
Well, they can see with the visors closed, and that's actually something that they actually took from an idea they wanted to do with the original movie, which was have the visors open, but one, they're supposed to be hidden and people not know who they are, so they redid the helmets to where the visors were closed and everything. But they can open and close them, you know, which, yeah, that is cool and everything.
Yes,
so
it
while they're
is.
in their Zords, they can open it and have full vision and everything.
They could see.
Basically, when they go in their suits, you know, their suits appear. It's kind of like Iron Man. The helmet gives them all their displays and everything, and the suit program tells them everything they need to know. Cons! Oh boy, cons. You already know my first con. Mastodon Zord does not look like a mastodon. It looks stupid.
Where the hell's the morpher?
Oh, right, yeah,
Where is it?
the movie Morpher was released, $30, and it's cool and everything, but they don't even use the Morpher. The power coins are in the movie, but the Morpher is not
There's
used.
no morpher. They have to stand on a platform all together. Even though Billy morphed on his own
Yes, yes, he did.
for a second.
So maybe the platform was just so that they could open up the grid or something. I don't know.
So are they going to be able to morph just by thinking of it?
Or do they have to go to that area to morph every time?
Where's the morpher?
That's yeah, that is a huge con with the movie is there is no Morpher. Seriously, you know, you
And
release the
there's
toy. The risk communicators, I can forgive those because they're just becoming friends. Billy's not. He was more focused on finding the crystal, not building things.
So we'll let that go.
Yeah, I can let that go. I'm not letting go the Zord. I'm not. To be honest, though, besides that, it's really hard to nitpick cons for this film. When I think about it, you know, because I am trying to think of things that annoyed me besides no action, and there's really not much that I can complain about. I mean, yeah, I would have liked to see more action. I think the Zord was kind of stupid looking, that one, for the Black Ranger. I mean, I like the character development. Becky G, you need to show a little more emotion. But a lot of people, you know,
Tommy.
their cons mostly generate from the no action and the lack of a good story. Which I didn't find any of that in that. So, you know, I think those are my only cons. I mean, I can't say anything bad about the acting because, one, you're young actors and you're being told that you're acting in a Power Rangers movie. But
Yeah.
each character did well with that, especially the emotion they give after Billy dies.
Yeah.
That was really well done. Bryan Cranston, I can't say anything bad about him.
And I'm going to tell you, Billy's character, oh wow, he performed amazing.
Yes, he did. The actor who played Billy, he did a good job of playing someone
It is hard
like that.
to play someone who has syndrome.
Yeah,
Very hard.
it's hard to play someone like that, and he nailed it. Each actor nailed their part. You know, Rita especially. You know, Elizabeth Banks killed it.
Mhm.
But you know, a lot of people complained about the suits. The suits are good. The Zord itself, where it does take a little more of a Voltron vibe to it, it's still pretty cool. It's a more modern Megazord, and to be honest, I'm kind of happy it wasn't the big bulky one from the original series. And that's the thing, you know, with it being a reboot and everything, things are going to change, and these cons that people are complaining about are because they're not the original. Is random stuff and final verdict. Okay, well, miscellaneous weird stuff besides the fact that it's never explained. I would have liked an explanation of after they got hit by the train, they all wake up in their beds. Now I get it, the power coins kept them alive, which means that's another thing too, they got hit by a train but Billy drowns. Huh. Well, he was tied up too, so I'll let that slide. But how did they get back to their house? Alpha first meets them when they first enter that ship. So how did they get back to the house? Both their own individual houses, no scratches, no bruises, no nothing. The car is totaled, but how'd they get back there?
Yeah, that needed some
That needed some
explaining.
explaining. Another thing, miscellaneous and weird, because you know, me and her both agree with this. Even though the power coins emanate power, when Billy, Kimberly, and Jason put their power coins on the cafeteria counter, it
Yeah.
starts boiling everything, and everything gets really hot. There was no
Why?
real explanation of that. Zordon and Alpha don't mention that. They don't mention it to him like, hey, this weird ass shit happened. What happened?
Why such a power surge?
Yeah,
Why?
and I can answer on the fact of, oh, well, the power coins, when they're put together, the powers combined and everything, they're Captain Planet, not Captain Planet. But, you know, that can be explained, but a little bit of a small explanation of why.
Well, that would be explained then anytime they're together, they have their coins on them, they would have that power surge. So it wouldn't explain it.
No, it wouldn't.
See what I'm saying?
True.
You need an explanation for what they did.
Yeah, you do, which is a small, minor thing, because some explanations in the show never happened. The putties. Putties. I might get it, you know, killed by fans by this, but I liked the putties. Okay, to be honest, yeah, I'm a fan of the original, and the original putties fit for the tone. But in this one, I'm kind of glad they weren't guys in gray suits going boo, 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 boo. Yeah, maybe it was a little easy to animate rock monsters, basically, but I liked that it was different.
Yeah.
That is one change I actually really did enjoy, because that's the thing that people just don't seem to get all the time. And yeah, I bitch about it a lot and everything in that. When you do a remake or a reboot, you are taking familiar elements and making them your own. So the changing of the putties is what they saw for this more realistic tone to this movie.
And the rocks made sense. Rita could go like
Yeah,
this
she could just
through
make them out of the ground, which means she could make them.
and she could make
endlessly.
endlessly.
She could
and
just-
that made sense.
Yeah, instead of the putties being made from actual putty, put into a machine and then sent to Earth. Because these putties, to be honest though, they did get one thing right. These putties suck like the other putties. And you know, Zed makes super putties in the beginning of season 2, and if you hit the Z on their chest, that's their weak point. They're done. And these ones kind of went down like bitches too. I will admit that. So they did keep that right.
But you kept making them. It kept the Power Rangers busy.
Yeah, it could
Constantly.
have kept them busy long enough, you know, to do that. But again, too, Rita's not very smart.
No,
That is one thing that they do keep with, and it's a cliche in every movie. I am here and I'm going to tell you my plan because I have you at my mercy.
Yep, that's a bad guy.
They know her plan, but she still tells them. And after you do a badass scene of literally not even breaking a sweat, kicking all their asses, and then you tell them what you're gonna do, it kind of defeats the whole badass scene.
That's a bad guy persona.
Yeah, every bad guy does this, except for Ultron. In Avengers Age of Ultron, he doesn't do it. So I give him praise on that. So yeah, that is Power Rangers in a nutshell. It is a reboot that takes its own liberties, but I feel still stays true to the original in certain aspects.
I agree. It was a very good movie. Very, very good movie.
Yeah, it was.
I'd like to see more of them.
I would too. There's supposed to be 5 more movies planned, but since it didn't do too well at the box office, they might not do that. And that's it. For people who gave it a 7 or a 6, meaning you liked parts of it, if you give them a chance to do a sequel, they could just blow us out of the water.
They may correct the parts you don't like.
Yeah, or they would stick with their guns, but make it more entertaining.
Yes.
So that leads us to the final scores.
I give it a 9.5 morphers.
Out of 10?
Out of 10.
You know, when I first watched this, I didn't do this review right away because I wanted time to think.
Where are you grabbing it now?
When I first watched it, you know, with the nostalgia, and you know, I smiled the entire time watching it. The original verdict was 10 out of 10. And, you know, after, you know, like I said, there are some parts that needed fixed, and there are a couple of glaring flaws that squeak by that shouldn't have squeaked by. So to be honest, you know, I still really love the movie. I will purchase it on Blu-ray, and if they ever were playing it again, I'd go back and watch it again. I'd pay full price to buy the ticket, rewatch it, not a waste. I'm actually going to tie on this and say, yeah, 9.5 Power Morphers out of 10. It is still a very good movie. It is more phenomenal. Simple as that.
Yes, it is.
It is the Power Rangers movie that we asked for, and Saban, the people who own Power Rangers again and did the original, gave us. It gave us a darker tone to it, more grounded story, not enough action, unfortunately, a good reboot design, a good way to start a new series. Now all they have to do is sell the merchandise and make the money to keep it going. And, you know, yeah, leave a comment down below. You remember, this is just our opinion. You could hate the movie if you want. I mean, Angry Joe, for crying out loud, gave it a 4 out of 10.
Wow.
A 4.
Wow.
And he calls himself a Power Rangers fan. I have not just watched the original Power Rangers. I've watched the Turbo movie, the original movie. I've watched every single series except for Ninja Steel and Dino Supercharge.
Yes, he is a Power Rangers from childhood fanatic.
So listen to me when I tell you it is worth it. It is a movie to go and see. It's a movie that, to me, is one of my top movies so far of this year. And I just watched Rogue One. And Rogue One is phenomenal on its own and everything.
Yes.
This movie still does what it does. And I truly believe that if Lionsgate goes ahead with their sequels, especially since the fact that they're going to bring Tommy in, that the second movie will do better than the first one, and it'll actually make you guys way more happy. For those who, of course, didn't like the movie. But I would honestly say, if you didn't like it, give it another try. That's literally all I can say. You know, like I said, leave a comment down below. You can totally tell us off if you want to and everything, or you could agree with us and everything. I'd like you to leave a comment down below and tell me how you feel about no Power Morphers in the Mastodon Zord. Did you think it looked like a Mastodon? Because I don't. You can like and subscribe for more videos like this, more reviews and everything. Thank you for watching, and have a more phenomenal day.
Bye.